Hello and welcome to Find Out Nation. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie,
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
and we're here to discuss what happens when a nation fucks around and starts finding out. Nicole,
Yeah.
I'm excited for your countdown. I'm excited. It's going to be a good countdown.
I just want you to know that I listened to last week's again, and I can confirm that these days are going down.
Okay. Oh, that
Because
feels
I
good.
know it doesn't feel like it when like every week we're like, oh my God, like it's just not
Ah,
doing anything. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So 335 days to the midterms.
Oh, that seems low.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that seems real low.
Yeah. 316 into the fucking clown show.
Oh, the clown show.
Yeah.
The Four Loco presidency. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the golf tracker's been updated.
Oh, nice.
So,
Because they really
uh-huh.
like honestly, every
Yeah.
report you see, he's playing fucking golf.
Yeah.
And I get the idea that we're like, no, we want to make sure it's confirmed, whatever. But come on now. He's
Right.
playing a lot
I
more
mean,
golf than,
yeah, like
yes.
we did the last one last Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and it hadn't been updated.
Yeah.
And now it's been updated. So he golfed um well, a total of 79 days so far in his presidency, but he golfed every day over the Thanksgiving holiday from Wednesday through Sunday of last weekend. And then of course 4 other days of the weekends in November. So today's only
Of
December
course.
2nd. He hasn't had a chance yet. Too busy, rage tweeting 5,000 times in the middle of the night to be golfing.
And nodding off in the middle of
Oh
his
my God.
cabinet
Yes.
meeting.
Go to
Mhm.
sleep. Go the
Sir.
fuck to sleep.
And, you can tell which news outlets are trying to be nice to him because
Oh
they're
God.
like, well, these cabinet meetings are over 2 hours. I'm like,
Oh my God.
okay,
If
I know,
if you can't handle
can,
a 2-hour cabinet meeting,
right. And like, does this mean you can't like sit through a whole movie in the middle of the day? Like, really,
right.
can we not handle 2 hours?
Because you all wanted to talk about sleepy Joe Biden, and rightfully so, because he was wandering off into the goddamn jungle after a press conference. Like, we'll be the first ones to admit there were some fucking issues. But guess who was staying awake during cabinet meetings?
Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that, sir, you are like 50% of the conversation, like the talking that
Yeah.
happens in a cabinet meeting. So
Yes.
the only thing you're doing is staying up for your own remarks. Like, come on
Yes.
now.
And
This
Trump,
guy.
if you didn't have this narcissistic, insatiable need to be on TV constantly, you would be smart enough to not have the cameras in the room during a cabinet meeting so no one would have video evidence of you fucking sleeping through it,
Nodding
you
off. To
dumbass.
your point, like you could easily just say no more cameras inside these. Like
Mhm.
I never remember any other
No.
president having regular televised cabinet
Cabinet
meetings.
meetings?
But
No.
it's clear that all it is like he wants to see himself on TV and then see
And
all of the people he put in their positions talking about how wonderful
how
he is
wonderful
on
he is.
TV.
You're the reason why we don't have hurricanes that have
Like,
hit the
sir,
US
get
this season.
yourself a YouTube podcast like
Yeah,
we've done and watch
literally.
yourself there. Like, you can watch yourself.
Fucking, I'm sure you can find old episodes of The Apprentice fucking somewhere, and you can
Yes.
go back and watch when you actually were in your prime.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
come
girl.
on.
Like, yes, 100%.
You
So
and
at the end
Needy
of the day,
Leaks. You can go
yes.
back
Yeah.
and watch
Listen,
it all.
I understand you want to watch yourself on the big screen because it's
Yes.
exciting. So get
Yes.
yourself, I'll hook you up with a video podcast. And we've talked about this before, someone that will fix your makeup. Now, don't get
Oh,
me wrong. I'm
yeah.
not wearing makeup. I have like 2 old
Yeah, I
ladies
don't
that's
wear my
coming
makeup.
in that are just killing me. I only wear makeup when I go into work these days. That is what it is. But I know how to match a color. I
Right.
promise you, I can help you not look like a Cheeto.
Yes,
And
literally.
on your video podcast, and then that's where you are, and you never have to record over 2 hours, and then you're fine. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
This guy.
I know.
Okay, let's talk about this. So, one of the big topics of the conversation was okay, first of all, Pete Hegseth. His
Oh.
nameplate was misspelled. Did you see that?
Well, no, I didn't. I just saw some clips of like
Oh,
Margot
me
Rubio
too.
talking at him and him sleeping, but I didn't see Hegseth's name was misspelled. That's hilarious.
So it wasn't his name. It
Oh.
was Secretary of War, but it was SS Secretary of War. And
Oh, that's
I saw a
appropriate.
meme that was like, Pete Hegseth is so drunk, even his nameplate is slurring.
Oh my god.
I
Maybe
died
yes.
laughing. I thought that was hilarious.
Yes, he's from
Uh,
Slytherin.
yes, indeed. And so, yeah, so a lot of what Pete Hegseth and the cabinet meeting is about defending himself against the clear war crimes that this
Oh, yeah, being
administration
a
has
war
committed.
criminal? Got
You and
it.
I have discussed it over and over and
Yeah.
over again that it is clear to us that we are just making up excuses to bomb fucking
Yep.
people in the middle of the Caribbean.
Yep.
And of course, the justification has been these boats are carrying drugs into the US, despite there being zero proof that that is true.
Yeah.
Last week, we hear in an article published on the day after Thanksgiving, so the day after we recorded by the Washington Post, cited two people with direct knowledge of the operation, reported that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a spoken directive to military personnel in early September to kill the crew of a vessel carrying 11 people. The Post noted that the initial military strike left two survivors who clung to a smoldering wreck. Admiral Frank Bradley, who at the time headed the Joint Special Operations Command, ordered a second strike to comply with Hegseth's kill everybody directive, according to the Post 2 source. Okay. So you have bombed a ship. You have two survivors clinging for their lives on, I assume, what is like Jack and what's her name from Titanic style? Like Jack and
Rose.
Rose,
Jack and Rose.
Jack and Rose on the Titanic, like clinging to a whatever. And instead of being like, we're just going to leave them or offer aid or whatever and take them prisoner, like you could even take these
We're going to
people
follow the Geneva
prisoner.
Conventions.
Exactly. You could take these people prisoner and then get more information about whatever. Instead, we're going to just bomb them again and make sure they fucking die. Okay. A group of military lawyers has issued a joint statement that concluded the allegation raised in the Post report constitute war crimes, murder, or both. The statement's titled A Statement from the Former JAG's Working Group on Media Reports of Pentagon No Quarter Orders and Caribbean Boat Strikes. Here's what it says.
Oh,
And I'm
God.
sorry I'm going to read this to you. I swear
That's
to
okay.
God, this is not like evening reading time, but it was pretty surprising to me. Yesterday, the Washington Post and CNN reported that Secretary of Defense personally issued orders to kill everybody aboard a civilian vessel suspected of narcotic trafficking. The attack on September 2nd, 2025 targeted a vessel carrying 11 civilians and allegedly an unknown quantity of drugs. The first strike resulted in near total destruction of the vessel. However, two survivors were apparently observed via surveillance video clinging to wreckage, whereupon the commander directing the operation ordered a second strike. The second strike killed both survivors. The former JAG's working group unanimously considers both the giving and the execution of these orders, if true, to constitute war crimes, murder, or both. Our group was established in February 2025 in response to the SEC-DEF's firing of the Army and Air Force Judge Advocate General and his systematic dismantling of the military's legal guardrails. Had those guardrails been in place, we are confident they would have prevented these crimes. One, if the U.S. military operation to interdict and destroy suspected narcotic trafficking vessels is a non-international armed conflict, as the Trump administration suggests, orders to kill everybody, which can reasonably be regarded as an order to give no quarter and to double tap a target in order to kill survivors, are clearly illegal under international law. In short, it's considered a war crime. Or if the U.S. military operation is not an armed conflict of any kind, those orders to kill helpless civilians clinging to the wreckage of a vessel our military destroyed would subject everyone from SEC-DEF down to the individual who pulled the trigger to persecution under U.S. law for murder. We call upon Congress to investigate and the American people to oppose any use of the U.S. military that involves the intentional targeting of anyone, enemy combatants, non-combatants, or civilians rendered out of the fight They give the Latin term, but I don't know how to pronounce it,
Mm.
and I'm done
Mhm.
looking stupid at mispronouncing names on this podcast. As a result of their wounds or the destruction of the ship or aircraft carrying them. Okay, so they go on, they talk about different governing bodies identified in the document. So they include the 1907 Hague Convention 4, which was like the precursor to the Geneva Convention. They talk about the Geneva Convention. And then, of course, they talk about US law, including murder. They also talk about how, again, and we talked about this last time, you know, as a it is not a defense for anyone to say I was given orders to kill someone. That is, if you're committing murder or you're committing a war crime, you can be held liable for that regardless of the orders that were given to you. So I gotta say, this seems cut and dry to me, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's why we had, what, 6 of our Congress people put out a video that said you do not have to follow illegal orders?
So to your point, this just came out after our podcast last time.
Mhm.
I have to believe the reason why those
Mhm.
messages were sent
Mhm.
was directly in response to this specific
Right?
example, right? Like
Yeah.
this is exactly the scenario that we were worried was
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And like it's just, I don't know. It's shocking to me that like nobody has stepped in. No one has said you have to stop.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
yeah, I do. Yeah. So 2 things on that. I saw that old Pentagon Pete put out a twat
Pentagon
last
Pete.
night where he's blamed not last night, maybe the night before or yesterday during the day, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Where he's blaming the admiral, trying to distance himself from, "Oh, the admiral had full authority to make the decision and give and do whatever he thought he needed to have done." He's sat in this cabinet meeting today and said that he only watched the first strike, even though he was on Fox News talking about how he watched all of it from beginning to end. But then also, a clip I saw of him today in the meeting where he said, "This is the fog of war. This is what happens in the fog of war." We're not at war,
No.
Petey. We are not at war. That's the whole
Nope.
fucking problem here is that
Yep.
Congress has not declared fucking war. We are just
Yep.
indiscriminately bombing fucking boats in the goddamn Caribbean.
Yep. Yeah. So to your point, so Monday, yesterday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed that the second strike did happen, but then asserted that it was legally sound. And then today, to your point, he said Pegasus said that he watched the first strike live, but didn't stick around to watch the subsequent ones, adding that he did not personally see survivors because the boat was on fire. He did say that he 100% supported Admiral Frank Bradley. So, to your point, it's like he is trying to
Mm.
straddle both sides of,
Mhm.
oh, I support the Admiral. He did the right thing. Because
Mhm.
the motherfucker knows if he turns on this Admiral
Yeah.
and now
And
offers
then
him up as, whatever, that
fresh meat.
he's
Yeah.
lost. That's right.
Yeah.
He'll lose the military.
Yeah,
But then
and
he's also, yeah.
oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but then he's also saying, but that wasn't my call. That was the admiral's
Right.
call. He made that decision.
Yeah, I gave the admiral full authority to make whatever decision he needed to in the moment. That's not how this works, Pete. And
No.
Pete knows that if this admiral gets hauled in front of Congress and says, "What orders were you given?" that Congress is going to believe this admiral over old drunky Drunkerson running the Department of Defense.
Well, and it feels to me that like what Hegseth is going to say is, well, I told him to kill everyone, but I thought he would know what that means. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Like that's what I feel like.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to me to see how far Congress is willing to go to hold these people accountable because this could easily be the thread that unravels the whole goddamn sweater here for the Trump administration.
Y-
All of it. Do you
So
know what I
you
mean?
you would think, yep, you
But
would think,
I
but
don't have any confidence in Congress. Like,
yeah.
I think that I could easily see this just being a showboat thing because they potentially have enough of their constituents calling their offices saying, "What the fuck are we doing?" Like,
I got to be honest though, the people that vote for Trump and vote for Republicans don't care about this type of
well,
thing.
that's true. That's true.
That's my problem is like the Epstein thing is different.
Yeah.
You know, the Epstein thing is pedophiles. Nobody likes pedophile. Fuck. When you go, like, you hear stories about pedophiles going to prison and getting shanked
Yeah.
because other, like, inmates fucking hate pedophiles.
Yeah.
Everyone hates a pedophile.
Yeah.
This is not that. Trump's telling you that, oh, in fact, the president said that president said that neither he nor Hegseth were aware of the second strike on September 2nd, but he defended the bombing. He said that as a result of these strikes on the sea, boats, the
Mhm.
rate of drugs entering the US by sea has dropped by more than 90%.
That's a fucking lie. These drugs coming out of Venezuela are not the drugs that are in the United States. Fucking fentanyl is made in Mexico with chemicals from fucking China. That's got not a goddamn thing to do with Venezuela.
Girl. Then when he was asked where the statistics comes from,
Oh god. The
the
air?
Department of the Department of Defense said you'll have to ask the White House, and the White House had no response.
Right, because it's a made up fucking number that Trump's just pulled
Of
out of his
course
ass.
it's a made up fucking number. Of
Just like
course it's a
every
made up.
other fucking made up number that Trump says.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my god.
What's crazy is Trump's also come out and said, we've been so successful with these boats that we're going to do the same thing on land.
Oh, that's fun. We're just gonna start like picking a target in Venezuela and just fucking bombing it.
Yeah.
Again, we're not at
Yes.
war. What are we doing?
I don't know.
And more importantly, what the fuck is Congress doing?
There we go. There we go. But
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
today he said that any country that he believes is making drugs destined illegally for the U.S. is vulnerable to a U.S. military attack.
Okay, well, Mexico.
Yeah. The U.S. president's comments came during a question and answer session at the White House, in which he also said military strikes on land targets inside Venezuela, which he has accused of narco terrorism, would start very soon.
Oh my god.
I know. So this is where I'm like, what are we doing? Is this really like our new war on drugs? Is
Yeah,
we're just going to start bombing all of our Latin American neighbors?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
is this
Trump thinks he's
really
Reagan all over again. Like kids are gonna have to start
exactly
going through the
or
DARE probe.
Nancy?
Yeah.
Nancy,
Kids are gonna have to
let's be
start
honest.
going through the DARE program again, like you and I did, and have their DARE t-shirts and like
Okay, but I don't want to like. I'm not knocking on Dare. Dare was badass. Like, yeah,
oh my
we liked Dare. Yeah, for sure. It's crazy talk there. So yeah, so at this point, I think we can confidently say that Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and all of the people that acted on their behalves are clearly either committing murder or
Mhm.
war crime. But either way, what they're doing is not good.
No. No.
Okay. Speaking of not good,
Mhm.
talk to me when you read the unhinged Thanksgiving Day twat
What the fuck?
eloquently
I
created,
mean, just so
obviously on the throne, pushing
yes.
out a big bunch of mashed potatoes and turkey that he had with his Big Macs, I'm sure.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so Trump posted a rambling post that at the end called Tim Waltz the R word.
Oh my god, yes. Like,
Okay, before we get into the R word, was there anything else on that twat that really stuck out to you just out of curiosity?
well, so hold on a second. I meant to Google this. Because there is a oops. God damn it. Sorry. Um, there's a number when we were just discussing his inability to have a coherent number. I just like maybe it's true. I think it might be. Okay, maybe it is a true number. I just Googled it and AI said it was, but I'm like, this is fucking weird. Where he was talking about the foreign population standing at 53 million people, census. I'm like, "Yeah, we know that those numbers would have come from a census, dumbass. How else would you get the fucking numbers?" But I didn't think that
Yeah.
that could be a real number because he's so stupid. But, the whole thing, well, and his attack on Ilhan Omar, like, he's fucking obsessed with her just like he is with AOC and Jasmine Crockett and all of them, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, him using the R word with Governor Walz, and then his him talking about her hijab is fucking infuriating to me.
Or you're talking about Omar's hijab.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
and
a
that
lot of yeah, go
just
ahead.
all of it. It's just the him when he's talking about the social dysfunction of America, the refugee burden, like, the whole fucking thing was insane.
So when you look at all of the rambling tweets that he made, you're right. He goes on for like talking about like permanent pause to travel bans and only
Mm,
reverse migration can fully cure the situation. Um, he talks about except those that hate, steal, murder, and destroy everything that America stands for. Even though, again, he's should be on trial for murder. Obviously, he talks about cracking down on illegal immigration.
yeah.
Um, he says that most foreign-born U.S. residents are on welfare from failed nations or from prisons, mental institutions, gangs, or drug cartels. Like it's just the
Uh-huh.
information that he put out in these tweets were just shocking. And honestly, like I am guessing a lot of our viewers don't have true social accounts that they're watching his tweets from. So by far the one that really hit like everyone over the head was like first he said that immigrants from Somalia are completely taking
Yes.
over the once great state of Minnesota. And then he went on and was talking about Minnesota and then he ended it by calling Tim Walz seriously R word.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh he's had a lot of response to that. Like so Indiana Senator Michael Bohacek, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Anyway, again, I thought I was done mispronouncing
It's
names on
totally
this
fine.
podcast, but apparently not. So Indiana is in the process of redrawing their gerrymandered maps.
Oh.
Uh, a map has been introduced, but this senator, Indiana state senator, has a Down syndrome daughter. And he basically said, okay, well, go fuck yourself because now I'm not getting anything going through. You'll like this. This is not the first time our president has used these insulting and derogatory references, and his choice of words have consequences. I will be voting no on redistricting. Perhaps he can use the next 10 months to convince voters that his policies and behavior deserve a congressional majority, he wrote on a Facebook post after explaining that
Wow.
he has a daughter with Down syndrome. Yeah, so that's super fun. Mike Johnson was asked about it today. I
Oh,
think it
what
was
he
today or
have to say?
yesterday. He was like, this is, I'm sure. So, first, he was like, those aren't the words I would choose to use. Shocking.
Uh,
But then he's
no
like,
one should be using them. Yeah.
hello.
God.
Um, but then he came out and was like, but I am positive that this was the strong response of Donald Trump's, shocked reaction to Tim Walz's gross negligence of this Somali fraud issue that's come up. So I was like, what the fuck is he
What?
talking about?
Yeah.
Right. I hadn't really heard much about it. A little bit, but not a ton. So here's the deal. In the state of Minnesota, they are pretty prosperous, actually, from what they're saying. And they had this welfare funds that were supposed to go to, so it's Minnesota welfare funds that are supposed to go to people in need.
Mhm.
But it ended up going to a lot of like fraud, Somalian bad actors
Mm.
who they're saying that money made its way into terrorist organizations. Okay,
Oh,
so
shit.
let me read this from CBS News. The
Okay.
Trump administration is looking into whether Minnesota tax money found its way to Al Shabaab, a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization and Al Qaeda affiliate based in Somalia, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on Monday. Minnesota has been racked by allegations of large-scale fraud in the state's public assistance programs. Dozens of people have been charged in a $250 million scheme involving the nonprofit group Feeding Our Future and its partner, which federal prosecutors say stole federal nutrition aid by falsely claiming to help distribute meals during the COVID-19 pandemic. Officials have also brought fraud charges involving housing aid and autism programs in the state. So basically, they have all these welfare programs, which
Mhm.
of course are totally not funded because they
Right.
don't have proper, like, right, they don't have enough staff to be like investigating all the people that are applying for aid. They gave out aid to people that later they found out were using the money fraudulently or applied
Mm.
fraudulently.
Mhm.
Because of that, a lot of this aid went to Somalians who, for whatever reason, it like came up as fraud. And some of that money they're investigating whether it went to foreign terrorist organizations. They're investigating Tim Waltz because they're saying, well, all this happened on your watch and you weren't diligent enough in finding this fraud. So now you should be investigated and thrown out of office.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
I know. So I'll tell you, as a person who works tangentially to fraud, and you have in the past,
Mhm.
it is very difficult to root out fraud in every area of an organization,
Mhm.
especially if you're unfunded and under manpowered. Like, being
Mhm.
able to find fraud is very difficult.
I mean, look at
But
Doge.
officials,
Doge couldn't find
hello,
it.
you are 1000% correct. That is absolutely
I
not
mean,
wrong.
shit. Yeah. Let's
So,
get big balls
yeah,
on the case.
hello, get big balls on the case. President Trump's repeatedly lashed out against Somalian immigrants in Minnesota, claiming in a post last month that the state has become a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity and announcing an end to temporary deportation protections for Somalian people in the Midwest state. Last week, the president alleged without evidence that hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart the
Oh
once
my
great state.
god.
Right.
Why is it that anything that happens with any person of an immigrant community, he has to then denigrate the entire fucking immigrant community? He doesn't do that with white people
Because because we know what that's about.
because he's a racist.
Because he's a racist piece of shit and he's getting all
Yeah.
of his like talking points from fucking Steven dipshit, who is
Oh,
like Slender
yeah.
Man,
The head
right? Who
Nazi,
is the
yes.
head Nazi racist. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Waltz and other Minnesota Democrats have defended the state's Somali community. The governor told reporters last month in response to the claims about Al Shabaab, do not paint an entire group of people with that same brush, demonizing them, putting them at risk when there is no proof of that. A statement by the Minnesota DHS stated, it's not just Somalians. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We are AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can, but to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few is lazy,
Yeah.
which is exactly what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So it's really sad to me, especially because, again, like, I was really trying to figure out, okay, what is he talking about? Mike Johnson, this is what he is saying was the thing that prompted Trump to say what he said.
As if
I
that
don't know
makes
if
it
that's
okay.
exactly,
That doesn't excuse it,
exactly.
Johnson. That doesn't excuse it.
Not at all.
If a Democratic president was doing this exact same thing towards white men,
Right.
like one white man commits a crime and we start denigrating every white man in the United States, they would be up in arms over it.
Oh, it's not all men, not all men. And we've heard it over
Exactly.
and over again, right?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about, would you rather see a man or a bear in the woods by yourself? And
Yeah.
as women, we always pick the fucking bear. And they're like,
Yeah.
not all men, not all men. Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, so
But
to
then
your point, like,
yeah, like this is that makes sense
yes.
now why he put the dig in about Ilhan Omar and her Hajib, because I couldn't understand what she had to do with anything other than she's from Minnesota. But now that makes sense.
But at the end of the day, like, the reality is, okay,
I
I
said
get the
Hajib,
fact
her
that, like,
hijab.
the, did you?
Yeah, I called it a Hajib. Like, what the fuck? It's a hijab.
Um, but at the end of the day, like, the use of the R word, it's just
Oh,
universally should be
it's
understood as
gross.
like a thing we don't use anymore. Like, for fuck's
Right.
sake.
Yeah.
I just absolutely, that you are like being disparaging about a group of people.
Yes.
But what really cracks me up are these people are so like shocked that he would say such a thing when we've seen him make fun of the developmentally disabled
Yes.
people time and time and time again. That's what
And
he
you all
does.
voted for him even
And you
after he
voted
did
for
it at
him.
a huge rally
That's right.
and mocked that
Like at the
reporter.
end of the day, do you really not have any representation that
Mhm.
you could bring about that would do a better job than this guy? Like if this
Right?
is the cream of your crop, you need to look inward. Like, come on, are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
And I don't wanna hear this excuse of because this shit I'm gonna try to pick my words carefully.
Okay.
This shit is very infuriating to me because I've had family members make this statement as a defense of themselves and others for comments that they make. Well, it's just their generation. Well, it's just how we were raised. No, I don't want to fucking hear that. Because, see, we are Gen
No,
Xers and we were raised, I mean, we used that word back in the day.
all the time.
Everybody
Yep.
used that word. My
Yep.
child, who is Gen Z, your child, who is he Gen Z or is he Alpha?
He's Gen Alpha.
Okay. They don't ever like they don't use that word. And like we just stopped using it. Like it
That's
just
right.
became
You and
something we
I
just
did.
didn't yeah, like we just stopped using
Yep.
it because it's not okay.
Bad.
Like you grow up and you do better when you know better. And like
Yep.
also I know for myself like you realize at some point as you mature that the shit's not funny. It's not
Mm-mm.
funny to mock people about things that
Nope.
they can't fix or have any control over.
That's right. And
You
it's
know what I
not,
mean?
that's
Like,
right. And it's never appropriate to use a word that is been used for some negative
yes.
connotation in the past. Like to take a
Yes.
word, I as plus size women, we know that,
Yeah.
words that talk about being fat are like whale or fatty or
Yes.
whatever, like
Yeah.
used to hurt people is like, go fuck yourself. Like you don't know
Right.
the pain and the trauma that you cause. And to your point, like, I mean, anyway,
Yeah. Like,
I get
and
that some people think this is woke, but at the end of the day, like in my
okay.
mind, this is right. I don't
Like,
care.
yeah, go ahead and think that it's woke because you're hateful. You're
That's right.
hateful
It's the
and
right
you
thing to
think it's
do.
funny.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
woke, but do you think Jesus would use the R word? Ask yourself that. Do you
Yeah.
think Jesus would use the R word? Probably
Exactly.
not.
No. Yeah. And
Oh,
this
God.
coming from a man who can't stay awake in a 2-hour cabinet meeting, who slurs his fucking words
Yep.
because there's no doubt that he's had strokes and he can't coherently have a conversation, who just
I
flat
know.
makes shit up while he's speaking.
Okay. So we didn't talk about this when we were talking about topics for the podcast, but
Okay.
Trump and his MRI, right?
Oh, yeah. His perfect MRI, you mean?
Yes. Yes. President Trump underwent advanced imaging of his abdomen and cardiovascular system for preventative reasons, the White House said on Monday, day after the president told reporters that he had no idea what body part his MRI covered during his October physical at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. What? Yeah, the
I
president said Sunday that the MRI that was conducted in October wasn't for his brain and the results were perfect. Okay, so
guess
you
what? I
don't
don't
know
believe
what they scanned.
right.
Right.
I don't believe
You
you.
don't know what they scanned. You don't know what they were checking for. You don't
But you
know
know it
why
was
they did it,
perfect?
but you know it was perfect.
Yeah, okay. And why would they do
Okay.
an MRI of his chest and abdomen instead of doing an echocardiogram? Like, what do we
Yeah.
like, if you're like, what? I don't understand. Girl, you know
Yeah.
that was of his fucking brain, and maybe it was also of his chest and his abdomen, but I will never believe that for 1 second that they did not scan his fucking brain because
Oh,
it's
I don't
very
either.
obvious he's had strokes.
I would agree 1000%. Not to mention the fact that if it is of his heart or of any part of his abdomen, you
Yeah.
don't have preventative MRIs.
No.
That just never
No,
fucking
that's not a thing
happens.
that's not a thing that exists. Even when you're
No,
riding on the coattails of the American people to pay for your health insurance and you don't have to pay for that shit out of pocket,
yeah.
you don't that is not that is an elective procedure that is only done because they are worried about something.
Right, unless you're Kim Kardashian and you pay $1 billion and you find a doctor
Yes.
that's willing to do that to you. But if you're Donald Trump, you're not paying $1 million to
Nope.
have scans done because at the end of the day, clearly you don't want to know, especially if you didn't get the results. Like,
Yeah.
there are these now concierge doctors that will give you MRIs of your full body. I asked my doctor, I was like, because it's like $500. So I'm
Oh.
like, should we all have this done? And he's like, no,
Mm.
because you'll it'll be inevitable that you'll find something that you'll now have to chase down and worry about and cause issues, and it'll be
Mm.
nothing. And unless you're having some sort of symptom, it is not worth just having a scan to do a scan. And so
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, he's very specific about, please just don't have a scan
Yeah.
unless you're having some sort of symptom that we need to give you a scan. Like when I had a gallbladder, when I had gallstones,
Right.
okay, now you scan your shit because holy
Yeah.
shit, that fucking hurts. You have symptoms. We got to look at it. But otherwise, no, don't do it. And then at the end of the day, like if I am going in for and I'm paying the money to have a scan, I'm asking what the goddamn results are. So are
Right.
you really
Well,
telling me that you had a scan and you don't know what the results are, but you know they were perfect? Give me a fucking break.
right. And and I love
This
that,
guy.
like, Caroline was reading the results and they're like, his vascular walls are in perfect shape. They can't be. They
Yeah.
cannot be. You guys
Yeah.
told us that he was having vascular whatever, whatever, and he had all the bruising on his hand because it was obvious you guys are constant. Like, those two things
Yep.
cannot exist at the same time. That the
Yep.
walls of his heart are in perfect condition while you're also telling us he's having vascular entropy or whatever the fuck it was that he was having. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
they think we all have amnesia like Trump does. That
I
we can't
know.
remember the things that they fucking tell us.
Well, it's really more about the fact that they know they can just gaslight
Yeah.
their
Mm,
most ardent supporters. Like whatever
yeah.
they say, everyone will believe, and that's all that they need to do. And so,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you
I
keep
mean,
doing
that's
what
like
you're doing,
telling
but
me,
are you fucking kidding me?
yeah, that's like them telling us that Biden wasn't having cognitive decline. I can
No
see
shit.
it.
No shit.
Don't
He
fucking lie
walked
to
into
me.
the
I can
jungle.
see it. Exactly. Exactly. I can fucking see it.
Well, and did you see like the comparative pictures of Trump on
On
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
and yes, Joe Biden
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving? And like Joe
Yeah.
Biden's alert, he's at least awake, he's
Yeah.
smiling, like and then Trump is like falling asleep at his own
Yeah. He's
Thanksgiving
like,
dinner. Not to mention the fact that, like, did you see all the pictures of Obama and the Clintons and
yeah.
this and Kamala, and they're all off like taking care of poor and food kitchens and this and that, and
Yeah.
Trump's at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Like, does that not tell anyone? Like, come on,
I know.
who is anyway?
I
Whatever.
saw a Trump supporter make a comment on that picture comparison of him and Biden and said, one of these pictures was a staged photo op, and the other one is of someone who was in the middle of speaking to someone next to them when the photo was taken. No, no, he's literally like eyes half shut and his mouth's hanging open. He wasn't talking
Yes,
and he's leaned over like this. Like, no, he's not talking to
correct.
anybody.
No, no, not at all. No. Okay. So we had briefly touched on I say briefly sarcastically, or ironically about war crimes, but let's
Uh-huh.
talk about the war criminal that we actually recently pardoned.
Oh, yes.
So the Trump
Yes.
administration officially pardoned former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who U.S. officials said was at the center of one of the largest and most violent drug trafficking conspiracies in the world.
Yeah. Yeah,
What the
45
fuck?
year. Yeah, he was given a 45-year sentence in the US for conspiring to import tons of cocaine into the
Yeah.
United States. And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, this is what cuz I'm like I mean obviously I was like this has to do with money or something, like I don't understand it. But when I was reading this article from Reuters, this kind of stood out to me that um in prison, Hernandez wrote a letter to Trump in which he called himself a political target of the Biden administration, comparing himself to the current U.S. president who faced multiple prosecutions during Biden's presidency and claimed the charges were politically motivated.
So that's the
So is that
thing
all it
is
took?
that yes, that's literally the vanity that it
Oh my
takes.
God.
Like there are memes about, there are countless jokes about, there's a certain type of man that all you have to do is appeal to a certain type of compliment and you can get whatever you want.
Oh,
And this is like this, to your point, I cannot believe this is all it took.
this is all it is.
But yes. So Tim Kaine, who was a
Hmm.
senator from Virginia, says, went on, I think it was Face the Nation, and he said he was the leader, talking about
Hernandez.
Hernandez. He was the leader of one of the largest criminal enterprises that has ever been subject to a conviction in U.S. courts. And less than 1 year into his sentence, President Trump is pardoning him, suggesting that President Trump cares nothing about narco trafficking. Like, duh,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that we are at this point, literally. I mean, it's almost like Trump goes out of his way to find people who should not be pardoned
Yeah.
and release them.
Mhm. Mhm.
How can anyone believe that Trump actually gives a shit about narco trafficking if he's letting this guy off?
Right.
What
Right.
who who in their right mind can believe that is the case? And I
Yeah.
just, like, you have to be drinking so much fucking Kool-Aid.
Oh god. Yeah.
The only thing that they say is that Roger Stone, who is like a
Ugh.
longtime Trump advisor,
Mhm.
he really lobbied for Hernandez's release. He said on his radio show that he delivered a 4-page letter from Hernandez that made that claim about being a victim to the Biden Harris, whatever. And so I don't know if it's like, I don't know.
And what's even better is that his lawyer is saying that he has to remain in the US because it's not safe for him to return to Honduras.
Oh, I know. But Trump teased the pardon in a social media post last week, saying, "Congratulations to Juan Orlando Hernandez on your upcoming pardon. Make Honduras great again."
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. I know. I know. I got to tell you, I just really, at this point, I don't understand how I don't know. I
Mhm.
mean, even Merrick Garland said that Hernandez abused his presidency to operate the country as a narco state where violent traffickers operated with near total impunity. Like, Merrick Garland was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So I don't know. I don't know what we're doing at this
Mhm.
point. Yeah. So that is a fun thing. But speaking of pardons, Trump came out today
Mhm.
and said that I, I, okay. I know
God.
we've made this joke before,
Oh shit.
but I swear to God that Donald Trump does not actually know how to get anything done. And he just declares things the way Michael Scott declares bankruptcy. And then all of his staff just has to, like, figure out how to make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I can think is what goes through his mind. But he comes out today and posts on True Social any and all documents, proclamations, executive orders, memorandums, or contracts signed by order of the now infamous and unauthorized Autopen within the administration of Joseph R. Biden Jr. are hereby null, void, and of no further force or effect. Anyone receiving pardons, commutations, or any other legal document so signed, please be advised that said document has been fully and completely terminated and is of no legal effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
That the auto pin is a legal tool to use to sign shit.
Nicole, did you not just listen to the very official twat that
Oh
voided
my
the
god.
auto pen?
Oh my god. I totally didn't get it.
Newsweek
Yeah.
reported that the auto pen is a device that replicates a person's signature with precision, commonly used for high volume or ceremonial documents. Presidents of both parties have relied on it to sign letters and proclamations. On Friday, Trump wrote on True Social that he is terminating all executive orders allegedly signed by Biden with an auto pen, which the president said accounts for about 92% of the orders signed during Biden's term.
92%.
Sure. So, yeah,
I
we're
mean,
just putting that
I
out as a twat, and now so be it into law.
and I mean maybe he does, but does he like have the authority to rescind a
No,
commutation? I didn't think so.
Absolutely not.
Because
Nope.
if that's the case, then as soon as the next Democratic president gets in the White House, guess who's going back to prison, Hernandez?
Hello.
I
Hello.
mean, like, why I oh my god, it's so
Yep.
fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
I just can't believe like this is what we are posting on True. Like this is what
Right.
we are now using
And it
True
kills me
Social.
every time he does this shit. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Like,
Oh
why is
God.
that his parting phrase? I fucking can't stand it.
I know.
DJT.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
DJT. Girl, you don't have to tell me. It absolutely fucking cracks me up. So yeah, I know. But at the end of the day, I just cannot believe I don't know. I cannot believe like we're posting twats that are just I declare blah blah blah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Um the last big item that I have
Yeah.
is the Tennessee special election.
Oh, yeah.
It was really heavily watched because this was going to be like, oh my God, if Democrats can actually win the counties that in the last presidential election went 22 points to Trump,
Yeah.
it's going to be shocking. I will say that most of the results have come in, and
Mm.
it sounds like NBC is projecting Republicans to win the Tennessee
Mm.
special election. I will say, though, that they are only expecting them to win by a much, much smaller margin
Oh,
than than the 22 points that Trump won. So I think
interesting.
Democrats will still look at this as a win,
As a win.
uh,
Yeah.
right, once all of the votes come in, but we'll have to see what ends up coming of this. So who
Interesting. Yeah.
knows? But yeah, I don't know. I was hoping that we would have the
Yeah.
big it really right that
Yeah.
the Democrats won, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like it's going to happen, even though early on in the vote tallying,
It
it
was
seemed
looking
like there
that
was a
way.
chance.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, we'll see. I will
Yeah.
say what's interesting about this particular election is that of course both candidates really like hammered on affordability. They hammered on
Mm.
like things being so expensive. There was a report that I think came out today that said that house ownership was at an all-time high for costs. Like
Mm.
people just can't afford to buy houses. But anyway,
Yeah.
Trump's response was they, meaning Democrats, like to talk about affordability. To them, it's just a con job. It's just a word. Democrats mention every time affordability is something that Democrats mention, it distracts from what he said are his administration's numerous accomplishments. So the one person that
Oh my
absolutely
gosh.
does not register about affordability is Donald
Uh-huh.
fucking Trump, the idiot. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, okay, other items.
Yeah.
We did mention in our last podcast at the very end about the National Guard shooting.
Yeah.
I did want to mention that there were two National Guards that were shot, one woman, one man. The woman, Sarah Beckstrom, she died. Unfortunately, the man, Andrew Wolf, is still in critical condition, I understand, and is still recovering. There was a man that was arrested, Lankenwall, Manula Lankenwall. He was arrested. He was ordered held without bond. He had his first court appearance today. He pled not guilty. Reports have come in that he actually was in this country after being granted I think citizenship because
Asylum.
yes, that's right, asylum because
Mhm.
he assisted CIA operatives
Yep.
during
The
right. And
Afghanistan war.
so
Yeah.
the Afghan yes. And from what I understand, he'd become really withdrawn from his family, withdrawn from people in the last several weeks. And so it sounded like he was having bouts of PTSD. And it just, even though, like, I'm sure the Republicans and Donald Trump will take this as an opportunity to really jump on again immigrants and asylum seekers, I
Mhm.
will just mention that, like, it really, again, shines light on the effects of things like the Afghanistan war on people and PTSD and what it does
Yeah.
to people that are involved in those. So it's really a sad outcome for everyone involved there.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk for a minute
Mhm.
about Okay, one of the things that we just celebrated was 1 year of our podcast, which was
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Again, just our narcissistic desire to see ourselves on the big screen, but we
Yes.
appreciate all of you being here for an entire year. So that is super
Yes.
exciting. One of the very first stories that we reported out on was the fact that RFK Jr. immediately fired everybody on the advisory committee
Oh,
on immunization practices, so ACIP. Originally, the advisory committee was like this group of really well-read scientists and highly credentialed doctors who all like varied from different backgrounds, so it was very non-partisan, non-political. RFK Jr. immediately fired them all and put a bunch of non-vaxxers on the immunization council.
yeah.
The reason why this is important is because they are getting ready to meet on Thursday and Friday of this week and are going to vote on updating their recommendations on childhood vaccine schedules.
Oh God.
Now, nobody knows what's on the actual agenda because the agenda items just say vote and doesn't say what they're voting on. But they are, I
Shit.
know, super helpful. But experts are expecting that they will vote on number one, not offering or delaying the hepatitis B vaccine for any children under 5, removing ingredients that have been deemed safe, like aluminum salts, from vaccinations that currently are being issued, and breaking vaccines into separate shots instead of a combined product of which it's offered now.
Like the MMR?
On
Like
Yep.
something like that?
Yep. So you will have to have 3 different shots instead of
Jesus
one
Christ.
shot that will be
And
everything.
anyone that's had to deal with an infant or a
Yeah.
toddler
Yeah.
or a 6-year-old and go through these
Yeah.
shots, like,
Yep.
what the fuck?
So the interesting thing is of course they'll tell you that, well, this is just our recommendation. This isn't law. It doesn't make any difference. But the
Mhm.
reality is that this can allow insurers to dictate what changes that they want to make. So for them, having vaccines broken up into individual shots means number one, doctors are going to charge more, obviously.
Yep.
And so now it's going to be about, okay, what do we cover? What do we don't? And then hopefully
Mhm.
less people get them so that they don't have to pay out as much. Also, if less people are getting their kids immunized, it's less that they're going to have to pay out. And if they come out and say, we don't recommend a hepatitis B shot for any children under 5, again, that's something else they don't have to pay for.
Yep.
So, of course, this is going to have impacts.
Mhm.
In addition to that, Dr. Kirk Milhone, a pediatric cardiologist and the current member of the ACIP, is now going to resign his position on the panel and has been named the chair of the Department of HHS. So, yes, we now have a pretty prominent anti vaxxer as the chair of the HHS.
I fucking hate it here.
I
I
hate
hate
it
it here
here.
so much.
Someone said, okay, so there was a picture today of, I think it was today, of the White House press room, and
Mm.
Matt Gaetz has been issued press credentials
I forgot
to
that guy
ask,
even existed. Why the
hello.
why the fuck does he have press credentials?
Nobody knows. Like, I could not find a good thing about Matt Gaetz, and someone's like, oh my God, we're living in the
Upside down?
upside
Fucking
down.
yes. Stranger Things has started, and guess what, guys? We're in the upside down.
Yeah. So Matt Gaetz and Laura Loomer were both brought in
No, you're a
today.
fucking liar.
Yes. I swear to God.
Oh my
Right
god.
wing firebrands. This is from the New York Post, and I rarely report shit from the New York
Uh-huh.
Post.
Uh-huh.
But right wing firebrands Laura Loomer and former Representative Matt Gaetz appeared in the audience Tuesday of the Department of War's first press conference after the old guard of
Oh.
Pentagon reporters surrendered their building passes in lieu of signing a controversial agreement with the Department of War's press office.
So they're part of One News America or One American News,
Yes,
whatever it is. They're gonna be the only ones that can report on what's actually happening at the Department of Defense. Like,
correct.
yeah, okay,
Correct.
great. Got it.
Gates, who resigned from Congress in January and hosts a talk show on One America News, pressed DOW spokeswoman Kingsley Wilson on what a post-Maduro Venezuela would look like as the U.S. amps up military pressure there.
Oh my God.
I
I just
know.
love, I mean,
We live in the
whatever.
fucking upside down at
We
this
really
point.
do. We really fucking do.
I
Matt
feel
fucking
like, though,
Gates.
as podcast hosts, if that means that we get press credentials, like, we need to take advantage of this shit,
Oh God, can
right?
you imagine? Can you imagine the amount of
No.
lying we would have to do in order to get press credentials to the Pentagon?
Yes. Yes. And it would last for one time and then we would be
Exactly.
quickly kicked out.
And then
Yes.
they would bomb us in the parking lot
Well,
so that we
in all
were.
fairness, you'd bring your fucking jar of mayonnaise and toss it at one of these bitches. Like Caroline
That's
Levitt would
so
be
true.
coated in
Oh
mayonnaise
God,
and yeah, we would
that
be,
dumb
yes.
twat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going on.
So that's going on. Matt Gaetz is now considered part of the press.
Republican Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio introduced a bill to eliminate all dual citizenship, which
For
would impact
everyone?
for everyone.
Regardless
He
of like,
says, he says being an American citizen is a privilege and you have to pick one. You cannot have dual citizenship. This would impact
oh,
a
is
whole
this
bunch of
America
people,
first? Is this America first? I
including
didn't get it.
Melania Trump.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure she has dual citizenship,
She
as do
does.
her parents, because
And
they
her
use chain
child.
migration.
And
Oh
her
my God.
child.
And her child. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So we have that. GOP Representative Anna Paulina Luna moves to force a vote on banning stock trading by members of Congress from the Restore Trust in Congress Act, which I fully support.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They should not be able to trade stocks while in office.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be watching that to see if it gets any legs. And you brought a story about the White House, well, Donald Trump, threatening to withhold SNAP
That
aid
benefits.
in
Yeah.
Democratic states that refuse to supply information on their citizens,
Yep.
which several states have declared is an invasion of privacy.
Yeah. That was announced today that as early as next week, they could potentially be withholding SNAP food aid from recipients. Yeah. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins said at a cabinet meeting Tuesday that the action is in the works because those states are refusing to provide data the department has requested, such as names and immigration status of the aid recipients. Yeah.
Which, again, I just am like, you and I were talking about this earlier. At what point do you just capitulate to tell these people to, like, here, go fuck yourselves?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I get it. It's an invasion of privacy. We saw that with Doge. We've seen that with other departments and other initiatives with this White House administration. So we are literally living in the upside
And
down.
anytime you use food aid as a political tool to withhold food aid from underprivileged human beings,
Yep.
I don't care if they're defrauding it. I don't fucking care. Like there cannot be that much fraud in the entirety of the program to justify you withholding it from people who are not committing fraud against the program. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I don't know how these motherfuckers sleep at night. And I don't know
know.
how they go to church with a straight fucking face and then want to stand around and preach to the American people about how we're all supposed to be,
Do you think Jesus is like, yeah, okay, no, unless everybody here gives me their name and their status, I'm not providing any
right.
miracles. Go fuck
No
yourself.
fish and
Do you
loaves
think
for you.
that's right? Do you think that's how Jesus had planned it? Because I feel like that is not the case. I'm just saying.
I'm going to turn this water into wine, but only if you can provide me with all this information first.
That's right. Only if you have your real ID. Otherwise, I'm charging you $45.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, no shit. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the SNAP benefits over the next several weeks. But to your point, anyone that uses SNAP benefits, food benefits, welfare benefits as a political weapon, kiss my ass. Just
Yeah,
kiss my
you're on
fat fucking
yeah,
white ass.
yeah.
Anyway. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about that I have on my list really quick
Yeah.
is what is the new thing on the White House page that you had mentioned?
Oh, so if you go to the White House's official website and you
Okay.
go to this search button and you just type in media, it will bring up some options. Click on the first one and you'll
Okay.
come to a page that says misleading, biased, exposed media offender of the week. And then they're updating it. So, like this week, it's the Boston Globe, the CBS News, and the Independent, and they all have like exposed stamped on their names. And then if you
Oh
scroll
yeah.
down, it
I
talks
see it.
about the outlet, the reporters, the claim, the category, the offense, the truth, the key points. Like, it's just fucking insane that the offender hall of shame, if you scroll down farther on the page, you'll get to the offender hall of shame.
Oh.
A report of the media's false and misleading stories flagged by the White House. Scroll for the truth. And then you can like go down farther and it gives you the reporters and it tells like the fact that we have created a whole ass webpage on the White House's website for this. Clearly, we don't have enough to do in the day.
Well, and like as an example, one of the offenses is the media misrepresented President Trump's call for members of Congress to be held accountable for inciting sedition by saying that he called for their execution. The truth. The Democrats and fake news media subversively implied that President Trump had issued illegal orders to service members. Every order President Trump has issued has been lawful. It is dangerous for sitting members of Congress to incite insubordination in the United States military, and President Trump called for them to be held accountable.
He literally put
Sir,
it in writing that
yeah.
they should be, and he retweeted it from another one of his followers.
And in all fairness, like all they said was if you're being told to do something illegal, don't do it. You have a responsibility not to do it.
It's
Like,
military
what are we
code.
saying?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in the fucking military code that you cannot commit an illegal, that you cannot follow through on an illegal order if you know that the order is illegal.
That's right. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
insane.
Well,
It's insane
good
that we have a
good
whole
to
ass
know.
website or
I
webpage on this now.
literally will watch this to find the lies that the White House is trying to give us at this point.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I only have one other thing. Can I share something real quick or do you have other stuff?
Well, I was ready for my happy ending, but of
Okay,
course
no,
I
I'm not.
am.
I'm going to give you this before I give you my happy ending.
Okay.
So, because this goes back to the airstrikes in Venezuela.
Okay.
So, it came out today that a family in Colombia has filed a petition with the Washington, D.C. based Inter American Commission on Human Rights, alleging that the Colombian citizen Alejandro Carranza Medina was illegally killed in a U.S. airstrike on September 15th. The petition marks the first formal complaint over the airstrikes by the Trump administration against suspected drug boats, attacks that the White House have justified under a novel interpretation of the law. So, what's interesting about this is that the US is a member of this Inter American Commission on Human Rights. And in March, the Trump administration stated that the US is pleased to be a strong supporter of the IACHR and is committed to continuing support for the Commission's work and its independence. Preserving the IACHR's autonomy is a pillar of our human rights policy in the region. And now they're facing this lawsuit with it. But this is the big
Yeah.
so the complaint was filed by the Pittsburgh-based human rights lawyer Dan Kovliak. It says on September 15th, the U.S. military bombed the boat of Alejandro Andres Carranza Medina, which Mr. Carranza was sailing in the Caribbean off the coast of Colombia. Mr. Carranza was killed in the process of the bombing. He identified Pete Hegseth as the perpetrator based on Hegseth's own statements. From numerous news reports, we know that Pete Hegseth was responsible for ordering the bombing of boats like those of Alejandro's and the murder of all those on such boats. Secretary Hegseth has admitted that he gave such orders, despite the fact that he did not know the identity of those being targeted for the bombings and extrajudicial killings. The complaint also states U.S. President Donald Trump has ratified the conduct of Secretary Hegseth described herein. And the White House had no comment when they were reached out to today about this.
Do we know, will the petition like does someone have to respond? Is there an
Um,
actual like lawsuit? Do you know
so
what happened with that?
hold on, let me see this. So yeah, he was a fisher.
Fisherman?
who yeah, so he had set out in search of marlin and tuna on the day of the strike. This is like going into details about like Trump's announcement on Truth Social about the strike on the day that he was killed.
Oh, wow.
Um, so
Hmm.
the attorney says, "We think this is a viable way to challenge the killing of Alejandro. We're seeking redress for the family. We want the US to be ordered to stop doing the boat attacks. It may be a first step, but we think it's a good first step."
Well, so in reading this from
So,
Politico, it says the commission
yeah.
has long been a way to challenge human rights abuses in the Western Hemisphere, but the U.S. hasn't ratified the enforcement treaty and does not consider its findings legally binding. So, interestingly, about this,
Oh.
because I was reading it on the other one as well, that there was a different, like, human rights
Mm.
code. And I don't know if that came from the Geneva Convention or what. So, I'll do some
Mhm.
more research and we can talk about this next week because it was like once the US ratifies it, we're supposed to abide by it. But we've like
Mm.
since the 60s, we've said, "Oh, we don't have to because we hold ourselves to such a high standard.
That
We
we
don't
the
need to take the
Oh,
steps to ratify
shit.
this." And so one of the things, remember I was reading that letter that
Yeah.
came from the JAG Corps like
Yeah.
people, and they were like, "One of the things we need to do is ratify."
Oh
So I
god.
wonder if it's the same
It
thing.
might
You know what I'm
be.
saying?
Yeah, it might be.
So I'll have to look because I remember that it was, yeah, I'll have to look to see if it was the same because they're like, we should ratify.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to read this. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Now
for
are
bringing
you
that up because I
Yeah,
had that in a different section of my notes and then
that's
I
okay.
did not
No,
get
that's
it.
fine.
So I
It's fine.
definitely can see that for sure. So,
That's okay. Are you
all
ready now for
right.
your happy ending?
I am.
This is so fucking hilarious.
Okay.
So, your happy ending's coming out of Virginia.
Okay.
One Virginia liquor store had an unusual patron this weekend, an inebriated raccoon found passed out in the bathroom.
Oh my
He is
God.
face down next to the toilet. I will
Oh
send
God.
you a link to this news article from ABC News so you can see him. According to the Hanover County Animal Protection and Shelter, authorities found the masked bandit collapsed in the bathroom of the Ashland ABC store Saturday morning, where the furry burglar had ransacked shelves. Are you seeing it? And drank multiple types of alcohol. Scroll down and look at the alcohol aisle where he busted all these bottles. In a social media post, officials said they took the very intoxicated raccoon back to the shelter to sober up before releasing him back into the wild. After a few hours of sleep and zero signs of injury, other than maybe a hangover and poor life choices, he was safely released back to the wild, hopefully having learned that breaking and entering is not the answer.
The best thing about this picture is the fact that he is sprawled,
Yes,
like
all four
legs
limbs.
out, all four
Yes,
limbs sprawled.
yes,
Oh my
yes,
God. That
yes.
is,
Because
oh
how
my
many of
God.
us have managed to get to the bathroom and then literally passed out in our bathroom floor just like that?
And because the ground is so cold, like
Yes,
the ground is so cold and it feels so
yes,
good. Oh,
yes. Because you've got the fucking liquor sweats and everything is
yeah.
coming out of every part of your body.
Oh my God.
What
That,
I love is that this poor little raccoon has no idea the state of our nation, and yet he is my spirit animal because I too
I,
want to be so inebriated that I don't know what the fuck is going on day to
indeed.
day.
A
Like,
1000%. This is all of us
yes,
sprawled. This is every Democrat right now, like
yes,
drunk
yes,
AF, doesn't
yes,
know what the fuck's going on,
yes.
and is just face down on
Just,
a
yes,
goddamn liquor store
trying
floor.
to fucking survive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I wish that there was I wonder if they had video cameras
Oh
inside
God.
that liquor store that, like, they just randomly see this raccoon, like, pulling the bottles off the shelves, busting them on the floor, and then just, like, licking it up.
I absolutely, I mean, and let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
I mean, and
9,
then,
10,
like,
11, 12. I mean,
towards the end of the aisle, there's all
there's a
kinds of shit
box.
down. Yeah.
There's a box. Like, it is clear that this raccoon went to town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I hope he's in
I
AA
c
somewhere.
I can't believe this. Like,
Like,
100%.
it's
Holy
hilarious.
shitballs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the poor guy. Just oh, God love him.
This is
Yeah.
hilarious. I personally like raccoons, said Samantha Martin, an officer who works at the local animal control. They are funny little critters. He fell through one of the ceiling tiles and went on a full blown rampage, drinking everything. She's
Oh,
not wrong.
no, she's not. I would call that
Oh,
a
God.
rampage. Yeah.
I would too. I love it. I love
Yeah.
this. I'm about
Yeah.
to just get drunk and sleep it off, just like this
Right?
goddamn
Just
raccoon right
because
now.
you can. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and so this article brings up that in May, there was a raccoon that was found with a glass methamphetamine pipe in its mouth. Like, what are we
What?
driving these raccoons to do? Yeah, girl.
And
Like,
raccoons are like, they'll fight your ass sober. Let's not be
girl,
giving them
girl.
any kind of
Like, we don't need Florida man
extra.
raccoons. I'm with you.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
I'm 100% with you with that.
Oh my God.
100%. Yeah. Whew, this has been a wild ride. I love that story so much. That is a delightful happy ending. Maybe not for the raccoon because I'm pretty sure he had a massive
Oh, the
hangover, but for
wicked
us,
hangover.
I
Yeah.
love that story so much. That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining, listening. Hopefully, you enjoyed tonight's podcast. I will make sure that I put up a picture of said raccoon and his very amusing, but honestly, I just started typing in Virginia drunk and like it auto finished with
Oh
raccoon.
my
So
God.
if you
That's
are one of our
hilarious.
listeners on a audio only podcast, I
Yeah.
encourage you to look that up because I
He's
literally
it's
guffawed as
hilarious.
soon as I pulled it up on my website.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for joining. I hope you guys are hanging in there. I will be on vacation at the end of this week, the beginning of next week in Gatlinburg, which they've had a lot of like bears that have been. So, like,
Oh, girl.
wildlife is present. And so
Yeah.
we'll see how this goes. But regardless, I am back on Wednesday. So hopefully we should not miss a week of podcasting. But if so, you'll have to forgive me. But I don't think we will. I think we'll be able to get it together and get a podcast out sometime next week. With that said, we love you. We thank you. Please like and subscribe to all of our stuff and share with all of your racist Republican family members that will certainly enjoy this as the holidays are in full swing right now. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.